What's the deal, my people? You know it is Don Tony Teflon, and I'm back at you another one, and this one is Yellowjackets Season 3, Episode 9, review, recap, and theory video. I will go through everything that happened in this episode of Yellowjackets, and I will tell you my thoughts on how this show is going and how I do believe it's going to play out. As always, hit that thumbs up. 500 is the like goal. We did not get there the last two videos. Maybe we can do it this time. It's all up to you. I think we can. And subscribe to this channel so that you are notified every time I drop a new video. This is the penultimate episode of Yellowjackets, and I must say that this season has gotten better as it has gone along. This is one of my most favorite episodes, not of just this season, but of the whole series of this Yellowjackets phenomenon that we've been riding with this whole time. Let's get right into this situation. It's been crazy dealing with Ty and Van, and it did look for a long time that Van was going to be taken out, and that she was just going to be taken out just by the disease that she had inside of her body. When we seen them inside the hospital, it seemed like that was the route they were going to go, but they did change it up a little bit. As we break to Shauna and deal with the Shauna situation that she's dealing with Melissa, we do see that Shauna is ready to make this woman eat her own skin, and not only is she ready to make her do it, she actually gets her to do it. I don't like Shauna. I'm gonna be honest, I do not care for this woman whatsoever, and I don't want anything good to happen to her. I think that in the end, Shauna has to get her up and comings, and I think that it'll come sooner than later. Back in the wilderness, we see that Shauna is arguing once again why they should stay. And I would say that the reason they gave of why they should stay out here is, valid. They do have a lot of loose ends. You just don't want to just shut everything down. If you're concerned about going to jail for the things that they have done, it would be advantageous for them to rethink this thing, go out, figure out what's going to go on. Let's clean up the mess we can clean up, and then get up out of here, instead of just being blinded by all the trappings of life and going forth and just going home. It is a smart move. But when they get into an argument with Kodiak does bring up that light cannibalism going on in this place. And I don't think they would get in trouble for the cannibalism. I think that they can easily just say, listen, the guy died already. We were starving out there. We had to do this. There was no way around us not doing this. We did not want to do it. He's our coach. We loved him. But in the conditions that we were in, that we had no choice but to eat this, man. I think they could use that and get away from this whole situation if they truly wanted to. Melissa has a little bit more fight in her than any of us suspected. We did think that she would roll over to Shauna, even though Shauna was whooping that ass on her, but she manages to spit her own flesh into Shauna's face, which distracts Shauna, and then Shauna tries to chase her out of the house. Now, why she threw the jar up against the wall, I think that will come back to bite them when it's all said and done. I don't know if they can clean up this scene as good as they need to, but she does escape into her minivan, and we were wondering what van that was when we seen them going down the aisle, but she did not pay attention to her wife, because her wife told her to get gas. Make sure she puts gas in the car. That's why you always gotta have some gas in your car. You never be driving like that. Eventually, after this, we see Van, Ty, and Misty. They run upon her. We know that now it was Van who did the nice Fast and the Furious move. I know a lot of people thought it was going to be Walter, but it was not Walter. Misty's the one who spots her. They go and bag her up on the side of the road after she's seen the fight, and they're very shocked again to see that she is alive, because none of them knew that she was alive, and now they're all questioning exactly what's going on. And when we transition back into the wilderness, we once again see that there has been two sides forming. Like, we have the side of the people who want to go home. Not only do they want to go home, they want to go home right now. And then you have Shauna's side, who wants to stay, who wants to clean up everything. And it's really Ty. Shauna's the muscle, but Ty is the one who is over here just saying that, hey, we should stay. And again, I agree. I do think they should stay. Misty comes up with a plan that she's going to be a double agent, try to figure out what they're scheming, because they could tell that these women are scheming about something, that there's going to be some type of defection inside of this place. And in the end, I think this is what's going to cause the death of Hannah. But we will get right back to that. When they're inside the house, they start questioning Melissa again. How are you alive? But once again, it's Misty questioning Shauna, saying, Shauna, I have the actual receipt. We know you were in New York. We know that you are the one who killed Lottie. And she has an excuse, saying that she went there to pick up a cat. We did see the scratch marks that were on Jeff's hand. He had 3 scratch marks, and it did look like maybe he had something to do with it because of those scratch marks. In the end, that wasn't the case. It was from the cat. And in the end, we think it's obvious right now to me that it's Callie that killed Lottie. You tell me in the comment section what you think. It was Callie all along. There's no other way to explain the DNA being there unless they make it Callie. After this, we see Travis try to lure Lottie to fall down into the pit, what we know is going to be the pit girl pit. Now, it's not the same one. This must be something he specifically just dug up, and they were trying to make Lottie just fall to her death. But Lottie, there's something special about Lottie that somehow when she walked over, it did not go down. When he tested it with less weight, it fell right through. So something's going on with Lottie. Someone is protecting Lottie, and there's no other way that we could see it. We also see that they have the plan to come up to try to escape during the night. Now, I don't know how this would have worked out for him. Again, once I said it, that I don't trust Kodiak. I think Kodiak would definitely take them out during the night. But this is their plan. They're going to sneak off in the night when everybody else is asleep. They give Hannah a knife, and they tell Hannah just to be ready during the nightfall. We're gonna get up out of here. We then go back to Killer Callie, and I'm telling you, they use the mirror with the 2 spaces to show that there's 2 sides of Callie, because there's no way around it. Callie has to be the one to kill Lottie. It just doesn't make sense if it was not her. If Shauna's DNA is under the fingernails, then there is no other person that has the same DNA as Shauna than Callie. It would make perfect sense that she is the one who went out there. She must have snuck in the car when her mother went to go get that cat. Maybe she was hiding in the back. Maybe she was in the trunk. I don't know how they're going to play it. But in the end, when this is all said and done, it's going to be Callie is going to be the one that took out Lottie. We finally get an appearance of our boy Walter. And listen, Walter knows how to show up and impress a chick. You know what I mean? He impressing me. I'd be impressed. You know what I mean? Show up on a helicopter just like that, out of nowhere and everything. I mean, Jesus Christ. How can't this chick love this man? She needs to give this man some play after all the stuff he has done for him. Again, when we're in the wilderness and we're dealing with everyone in there, especially Misty, I did not think that it was going to come back down to the situation that they showed with the red box. I really thought that the red box thing would be over, but they did not make it over. They actually brought that back, and I thought they brought it back in a very interesting way, that they're going to try to use that piece, or she's going to use that piece to try to get the stat phone. And I think that that is what's going to save him. That's what's going to keep him out of trouble. But the dissension of these chicks that are in there, the ones who want to go home, and them not being down with Shauna, I think this sets up the whole pit girl thing of who is going to die in the pit girl, and that's why they're going to be taken out. Possibly they all get taken out now because of this whole situation, that they got to get rid of them. They can't trust them anymore, and they can't trust them to keep their mouth shut when they get back. And I think that's going to be Shauna's reasoning to take out most of these girls that we see down with them that they were going to try to escape. And I think that's how they all reasonably, by Shauna, by Ty, they'll just say, we can't trust these chicks. There's no way. Look what they were about to do. Look at they were trying to escape. Can we trust them when we get back? Are they not going to talk and tell our secret? We have to get rid of them. And I think that's going to be it. I mean, that's to me makes the most sense of why they're able to get it. But it's Misty who's peeping everything, and she's the one who finds out that Van has stashed the telephone outside of the woods in there when she's doing her investigation. Again, she's very crafty. She's very sneaky. Ever since a child, we could see that. So she's the one, she finds that Van has the phone stashed up, and she looks and knows eventually that she has the piece that could actually help them. When we get back to the adults inside of the house, and they're trying to figure out exactly what to do with Melissa. To me, it's kind of weird that they're all just down with like taking Melissa out, basically. I mean, they didn't do it, but they're all down about it. She tries to explain to him exactly why she did send the tape. And then they showing the counters with that like she's a crazy chick. She married this girl, Hannah's daughter. And that is a bad look for her. There's no way around that she can explain that or that works out for her in any way. You married the woman you killed's daughter. You're a psychopath. And I think that that's what they wanted to put forth, that, listen, she seems like she's living this normal life, but all these women, they're all messed up. She actually married the daughter of the mother that she killed. And it shows earlier in the show of how they're getting close together. When we see Hannah talking to Melissa, because as I said in the previous video, I believe that she was going to use the mom card to get closer to these girls, to be that mother figure to them, and ultimately become the antler queen. That's, you can go back and take a look at that video that I did, and you'll see me say that weeks ago that this was going to be the case. We could see her befriending Melissa, telling Melissa that she has a daughter, that she feels bad, that she just wants to go back to her daughter, and Melissa is eating it all up. She starts feeling bad for Hannah. She starts feeling bad that Hannah hasn't had a chance to talk to her daughter or even see her daughter. She starts to get a soft spot for her. And it's easy to see why she would do this. Again, these are women that are in the wilderness, not even women, they're young ladies who are in the wilderness. And Hannah herself is bigger than all of them. She's lived that life. She is an adult. And I do believe that they all, in the end, want a mother figure. And that is when Shauna spots her. And when she does spot her, she gets jealous. Now, she's definitely jealous of this lady. She starts to confront her, saying, hey, what are you doing? This lady is just trying to play you. And Melissa, in the end, is a good soul when she's this young. Like, she's a good chick. She's not like all these other chicks who are just crazy, especially Shauna. No one's as crazy as Shauna. Everyone is better than her. But Melissa truly hasn't been taken over by this place. She has not become a wild person. She's good-willed. She has a kind heart. She's kind of like a hippie chick compared to these other girls when it's all said and done. And Shauna is just a very manipulative person. And I think that, she's basically sick of it. She's sick of it. She wants to go home. Shauna is the one keeping him there. And now she sees Shauna for everything she did. But Shauna's got to go and be like, listen, no one even gave a F about you until I did. You ain't nothing. You ain't shit. And she puts her on blast in front of everybody. And which I think is a detriment to Shauna doing that. These are things you have to keep behind closed doors. And she actually points the gun at this chick and tells this chick, I can take you out right now. And also takes a shot at her. She takes a shot at her that misses her purposely right in her sleeve. But again, it makes her piss herself. It makes her piss her pants. And then they cover that up. I think that when Hannah seen this and seen the divide in the group and seen that this was the way it was going on, this is what led Hannah to do what she does later in the episode. She sees that there is cracks in this armor and that these people can be taken over. They could want a new ruler because Shauna is just cruel, and a lot of times she's ruling by fear more than anything else. And again, I think that sparks, this whole thing is what sparks Hannah's movement later on in this episode because of Shauna's actions and that she did it in front. If she never did this or tried to play this girl in front of them, I don't think that she would have ever did what she did later in the episode because of it. Travis's plan to me wasn't going to work, and it really didn't make any sense to me why he would try to plan this out. What would he go back and tell everybody? Oh, she accidentally fell into the spike pit that I built? No one knows about the spike pit. From what I'm seeing, I don't know how long it's been there. Maybe they did it to try to trap animals or some type of game or something like that. Maybe that's what it was. But if she would have died, which Lottie did not die, but if she would have died, how would he have went back and explained that whole thing to these girls? I just didn't like his reasoning behind the whole situation, or how he could lure Lottie out there and take Lottie out. I guess he figured if we could take out Lottie, we could be easily then take out Shauna. If this was the case, Travis is trusted. He could just get the gun and do it himself. But I just don't think Travis has the balls to get it done, to do everything. I just don't think he's able to come up with these plans himself and get everything done and all that. But again, we do see Nat at this particular time with the knife, and Hannah gives Hannah the knife and tells Hannah that they're going to escape at night, and for you to make sure that your binds are cut, so that way when we escape, we can just get out of this place and get away from Shauna, get away from everybody. And that is the plan for them to get out of there. Now, again, it's not going to work out for them, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Dealing back with the main timeline, once again we come across Callie, and now she's smoking weed with her dad, having a good time with her dad. Again, Callie's whole storyline to me only leads to one thing, and that is Lottie's death. If it's not Callie, and Callie is not the one who did it, I just don't see why they even had her in this series to begin with. It has to be her. Deal with the DNA, Shauna's car being there. The only way it works out is that. And while Misty is dealing with Walter, she asks Walter, hey, you did clone Lottie's phone. And the guy is such a gump, he falls for it once again for her. He's just so in love with this chick that he's willing to do anything for her, that he doesn't see that she's just trying to use him. Or he's willing to be used just to get around her, hoping that at one point that she actually takes him seriously and wants to be with him once again. But while this is going on, we do see Misty, when she goes and looks at the phone, that she sees something that makes her take right off. And I think what she sees and what she's going to see is that Callie called up Lottie, and she's the one who got her out there right before she died. So in the end, when this whole thing is said and done, quote the Don on this, it'll be Callie that definitely took out Lottie. That'll end that story. We also know the end, that it was Misty who closed Shauna inside the freezer, so that mystery is taken out. This will be the last one, that it was her daughter that killed their friend. In an escape plan that was doomed from the start, we see Hannah and them do get bagged up by Shauna. But as I told y'all, if you're a fan of this channel, how this was going to play out, I told you that Hannah would take out Cody the same exact way that Lottie took out the bear. I used Cody as the bear, and that is how Lottie took power over the camp. And once again, I do believe that is what they're showing you here, and that is why I believe that she is going to be the Antler Queen in the end. You could put it in the bank. I do believe that that was what's going to happen. But yo, go back and check the video. You'll see that that's exactly what I said. So now we have the whole eye situation, the three-eyed bear done with Kodiak. After this, we get basically the end of Van. And I knew Van was going to go out, but I did not expect her to go out like this. You know, she's sitting there after Melissa has tried to poison everybody by closing the fireplace, gonna kill herself and kill everybody in the piece. But Van is the one who drags them all to safety, gets them out of there, and airs the place out. She's thinking that she could just, you know, kill Melissa, and maybe the wilderness will save her life. And Melissa basically gives herself up and says, if this is what you think you have to do in order to live, then I will be your sacrifice. But in the end, she turns the tables on Van and winds up stabbing and killing Van and getting Van out of there. I like the way they did the transition, the whole thing that they had from the beginning of how her journey was just to save Ty. And that was it, to save the love of her life, that it was never going to end well for her. She was never going to survive, that she was just there to save Ty. And that's what it was. And the young Van knows exactly how this whole thing is going to play out. And she's just like, sit back, enjoy, and watch the rest of this movie. That's the episode. Tell me what you think in the comments section. If anything I missed, let me know. If you like the way I do this, please thumbs up this. Spread this across the realm. I'm sorry, I'm sick. I just can't go on any further. I'll be back as soon as I can. Until next time, you know who it is. Peace and stay sexy.